Hello and welcome to this tutorial for LEGO Harry Potter Years 1 through 4. In this video we will be going over the level 3-6, the last level in Year 3, and the any percent route for doing it. So starting off here, normally after completing 3-5 you'll have two characters. So I'll just drop in P2 like so. And you get a small animation saying that you've collected the time turner, whatever. Not useful for any percent. But yeah, it's just a thing that's that you get. It allows you to do stuff for 100% and other collectibles categories, but not really useful for any percent. So to start this level, very simple. You can see P2's closer. Move with P2 and jump on Buckbeak. You can actually jump with Buckbeak as you're fading out, which is kind of funny. So once you spawn in the level, one of the very first things you want to do is you want to switch Harry to Expecto Patronum. And the reason for that is there is a Dementor literally just to the right off screen here. You can't quite see him, but there we go. He was there temporarily. So obviously you want to move forward with Harry, but one thing important to note is this entire section has a little bit of ice physics to it. In places, not the whole thing. But there is a little bit of ice around this area. And what you've got to do is whenever you're on ice, your acceleration is super slow, so you've got to be jumping everywhere. So I kind of lead with P1 and end up jumping. And also by jumping and shooting, you cut off the animation. And you can see once you get past this point in the bridge, the ice physics kick in. And you can see it's much slower for me to accelerate and change direction. But once you get rid of that Dementor, with Harry leading, you want to switch Hermione to Wingardium Leviosa at some point along this. But with Harry leading, you're going to jump and shoot that chest. Hermione's on Wingardium Leviosa at this point, so you move Hermione to this axe. And the positioning you choose with this axe is kind of important. Basically, there are a load of different breakable kind of modular sections here. So this is one, 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 and I believe this is one. And if there's two kind of modular sections, you can, with precise positioning, by hitting the chisel in the middle of them, you can break two at the same time, which saves an animation and a second or so each time you do it. So about there, breaks both of those two top blocks. And then come down again here. I didn't get it that time, because I was a little bit too far to the right. But I would be able to break those two at the same time. I think we broke another one there. And then just break those two. And you break that whole ice block. What you could do from here is with Hermione, again, because you can see there's a Dementor beyond this bridge. So what we want to do is have Harry basically primed and in a ready position to just take out that Dementor. Hermione is going to then switch to Lumos, and if my controller decides to play ball, which it isn't at the moment. There we go, and activate Lumos, and again you can jump into the plant to skip the animation of having to fully ignite it. So you jump in like so, and then Harry hits that. And now, once you're over here, you see I've switched Hermione back to Wingardium Leviosa. And what we're going to do with Hermione is we're going to use ice on this, and this is going to melt the water fountain and make this bucket Wingardium Leviosa a ball. And with Harry, we want to jump on this bucket, because what we can do is this bucket moves over this way, and it moves just enough in range that Harry can jump up to this upper ledge here. So what we're going to do is from here, use Wingardium Leviosa, jump across, and then release Wingardium Leviosa. It's very important you release Wingardium Leviosa. If you let that bucket do its full journey, there's about a 15-second camera pan. So obviously you want to avoid that. So if I show that again, jump up, and then switch off, and then release Wingardium Leviosa. There is a Dementor just to my right here. So that's the reason why we have to have our players this way around. Harry has to be the one to get up here, because what we're going to do is jump and shoot, and that gets rid of the Dementor. You can kind of do it blind. You don't need the Dementor to be on screen. One of the great things about Expecto Patronum is it does have auto-targeting features. So if you're a little bit off on your angle, you should still be fine. What I like to do is when I jump and shoot the Dementor, I will then immediately start holding X to be able to shoot this chest. Because we shoot this chest to reveal a statue. And then once I've shot that chest, I immediately come back and shoot this statue. And then we build this statue. And shoot the last one. One thing I will say about this section, it can crash. Or specifically kind of almost hard lock your PC if you are playing on enhanced graphics off. If you're playing on enhanced graphics off, then these statues, you just shoot them and they pose no problem whatsoever. If you're playing enhanced graphics on. If you're playing enhanced graphics off, then these statues can crash your PC quite comfortably. And the way to kind of get around that, I will link a video in the description which shows it better. But just as a brief explanation, the way to get around that is you want to move P2 kind of a decent way back to the start. Because what you're going to do is you're going to off-screen basically the shot from P1. If P2 comes all the way back here, then you're going to shoot and drop out. Like so, and that should have prevented it. One of the annoying things about this is the P1 does come all the way down here, which means you have to do this barrel jump again. But then you have to do that twice. I think there is a way of another way of avoiding it, but I'm not entirely sure. I'll link a video which shows this way of avoiding it a lot better though. And then we go through the door. And in this room, a little bit of personal preference for this. So what I like to do is, basically you need one character to go down each side. One character on the left, one character on the right. Even though P2 spawns further to the left, I like moving P2 over to the right and P1 over to the left. And the reason for that purely is my left half of my body then controls the left side of the screen, my right half of my body then controls the right side of the screen. You could save like 0.5 of a second if you don't do that. But I find it just a little bit easier. And then once you're over here with both characters, you're going to bring this over with Hermione. Just as a note, you don't actually need to clip this in place. As long as it's being held by Wingardium Leviosa, then you're fine. The one issue with this is, if you then try and move the platform, you see Harry kind of stays in the same place. And that can be very bad. But it's just a little bit something to keep an eye on, really. But anyway, if you get Harry over to the other side, that's a good way of doing it. And then Harry will do this to lower that. You do have this pixie here. I have never been grabbed by that pixie as of yet, even by going like super close. So yeah, I don't know what causes that pixie to happen. But then same again here with Hermione, so I can show it a bit better. See how early I can move across with Harry and use that platform. And then the bridge with Harry there to bring Hermione across. And then Hermione's got to do this. What I like to do when doing this is switch Harry to Expecto Patronum for this next room. So in this next room, we've got a bit of complicated 1P2C to deal with here. Basically, I like to split this room into a few discrete kind of sections. And the first of those sections, I'll show what we do with Harry first. So with Harry, we're going to run forwards and shoot that Dementor. Then run down, shoot that Dementor. And then shoot that plant once. At the same time, Hermione will jump down here. The collision on that wall is a little bit weird. You have to jump earlier than you think. But with Hermione, we jump down to here. And then we put this in place. And this starts a camera pan. So that's kind of like the first section of the room done. Then with Hermione, we're going to come down and do this book puzzle. I'll do it slowly, so you guys don't get to see me mess up a children's puzzle. And then we pick up the item that comes for it. Meanwhile, with Harry, we are collecting this tooth. And there is still one more Dementor out there. You can see it's just coming towards Harry here. So we get rid of that guy. And then we are going to use Wingardium Leviosa to get the cauldron down. And at the same time, while we're doing that, Hermione will be coming up these stairs. There is one more item to get, which I get with Harry, because Hermione's a bit of a bottleneck here. Which is this one, using this barrel, cut down the top branch of the tree, pick up the item, and then build the potion. And now, once you built the potion, the movement here is actually somewhat kind of unique. In a sense, we're actually going to move to the left with Harry here. And we move to the left to despawn 2 Dementors, which normally spawn and chase after you once you've drunk the strength potion. So by going all the way to the left with Harry here, the Dementors won't spawn. And then we can drink the potion with Hermione, do the animation cancel again by holding Y, and then Hermione can go and do this. And once Hermione's drunk the potion, basically, the Dementors are despawned, they won't ever respawn. So what we do once Hermione's moving up to the strength handle is Harry's going to come back across here. And the idea is with Harry, this bridge is going to open up. And we want to time a jump onto the bridge so we get as far across the bridge as early as possible, essentially. So Hermione pulls the strength potion. Unfortunately, Hermione's strength potion had worn off because I waited too long. If we do that again. Animation cancel. Hermione's going to pull the lever. And you see Harry got a little bit onto the bridge early. You can get all the way across that like first section of 3 with a really well-timed jump, but it is a bit of a challenge to do. There's one more Dementor here. Sometimes spawns in your way, sometimes doesn't. But I just like to throw a precautionary Expecto Patronum out, just in case. And then we go up into the boss fight. Now, in this boss fight, the entire mechanic of this boss fight is these 2 barrels, which are Wingardium Leviosa, a bull. And what they each do is they drop certain objects, and the idea is the Dementor takes in the objects and will take damage from one of them and allow you to hit him with Expecto Patronum. Hermione tends to be the one that's only in charge of using Wingardium Leviosa on the barrels. Harry is progressing the phase by getting rid of the Dementors, which are summoned in each phase. 3 in the first phase, 5 in the second and third phase. So immediately as you spawn into boss fight, Harry becomes Expecto Patronum. And I'm going to drop both of these barrels. In reality, you don't really need to drop both. You only need to drop one. But I like to drop both. And what we're going to do is Harry can X-aim these 2. And then shoot the last one. And now, what we're going to do here is very important with Hermione. The actual hit marker for whether the objects have hit the head Dementor is not just like any of the boxes or anything, it's specifically the plunger. So we can see the plunger to the right of the right barrel, and with Hermione kind of in these in-between phase sections, we want to push that plunger as far forwards as possible. So I'm going to try it here. First phase it's a bit difficult as it's quite a short phase. But you see the plunger is the key thing because the plunger is what ends up on the Dementor's head. And then you shoot the Dementor with Expecto Patronum, and that ends phase 1. And then you basically rinse, repeat. I wait a little bit before like using Leviosa on the barrels again, because I think it can soft lock. So I kind of wait until he starts the second of this like swooping forwards / screaming animation. I don't know what to call it, but like that. So then we're gonna target the 2 Dementors over here. Unfortunately missed one of them, but that's okay. The 2 Dementors on the left will now spawn. There they are. And then the last Dementor's up front. But you see at the same time, I'm trying to push this plunger forwards. Because when the plunger hits, that's when the phase ends. You see the rest of the objects are scattered in front. So we have one more phase to go. This phase, you can see the 2 barrels are covered with ice. Nice easy way to fix that. Shoot the fire breathing statues on either side of them. This phase doesn't it doesn't harm, like it's not dangerous at a risk of hard locks if you have enhanced graphics on, or if you have enhanced graphics off, sorry. It's not the same thing as Room 1, thankfully, so that's quite a nice thing to avoid. Instead, you just shoot 1, shoot 2, and then progress the phase. My positioning with Hermione here is kind of important, because we want to lure the Dementors down this specific near side path. Like so. And you can see we're only going to need to hit one of the 2 barrels, because this plunger is close enough. So when the Dementor sucks it in, we can end the phase and end the fight like so. So that's it for this level. I'll now show what it looks like if you play it a little bit faster. So playing this level again but faster, spawning from the courtyard obviously, jump onto Buckbeak, and then we can go over this way. Get this shot on the thing and then aim for these double hits. Again, I only got one of the 2, which is a little bit unfortunate. We get rid of this Dementor here, and then Hermione does this with the barrels. And again, we're going to jump across and release at the right time. Fire that shot went off. And then we have time to shoot the chest and then shoot the other statue. Shoot again, and weird invisible here. It's kind of easier to jump over it to get through the door. Okay, my controller's being a bit weird at the moment, but we jump across here. Like so. And you can see how early I'm getting these jumps, unless I fall off. But you can jump really early, especially onto these platforms which you move across with Hermione. That one you could jump on a little bit earlier, but you do have to wait for the whole thing to be built to actually walk across it. So this from here. Take out the 2 dudes. And shoot to open the plant. And then you can just standing shot with Harry. Got the puzzle right, let's go. And you can see why I was saying Hermione is the bottleneck here, because Hermione's got to climb up this ladder. But as it is, this time around they've come out about even. So I'll run over here with Harry, despawn the Dementors. And then I'll switch Harry to Expected Patronum here. Not really necessary, but I felt like doing it. We were a little bit late for bridge skip there, so that didn't really happen, but that's okay. We still got like an extra toe on the bridge. Bridge skip only saves like 0.3 maybe, so it's not too bad if you miss it. And then we go up into here, immediately open the barrels, and my Hermione positioning to be in the middle here is kind of important to lure these Dementors down. Small push on the plunger, not quite in the right direction there. And then we repeat. It's the same again. Hermione and Harry both positioned a little bit further back to lure these Dementors on this side. And then we get a decent plunger push there. You do get frozen, unfortunately. You can't really control movement while you're frozen. It's not like freeze clipping or anything in 5 through 7, but that's fine. Shoot those 2 things, and then we go again. So again, luring the Dementors on this near side, and then they'll always come through on the far side. We've got a good push on the plunger this time. If I can not waste it, which I might have done. And that's why we don't like standing shots. The running shots are a lot better, because otherwise the Dementor will do that. One thing to note here, just before I end the level, if Hermione ends up in front of the plunger and gets sucked to hit the Dementor before the plunger hits the Dementor, then you will lose a phase. So you've kind of got to make sure that Hermione runs away from the plunger, and then you can finish off the level. But that's it for this level. A lot to it, but a lot of kind of small things to it rather than any big skips. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.